you'll get an Excel document that looks like this. And what you will do is you'll type, just so you know, you'll type in your program name, GenMan 4, a welding 101. And then what the calculator requires from you is to put in what you charge for the training. So you are charging 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 Rand. Then the question is, what is the training currently costing you? So what we've done is from this research that we've done, as well as, me being in the industry for 22 years, Jennifer, been in the industry for longer than 22 years. We've worked with a lot of our clients, especially from I've worked in corporate, I've worked on my own, I've worked across sectors and different sectors with different training providers. So based on that experience and based on this research, including direct and indirect costs, your training is costing you around about 77.28% of your. So for every Rand that you bill, 7 Rand and 72.9 cents is it's actually a cost. So we've built it as an indicative cost. However, if you know your actual costs of training, indirect, direct, you can change that. But the 77.29 is fairly accurate, and it's kind of the benchmark that we are seeing from the research because of the dive. So it will automatically give you a number, but you can change that number, and then put in the number of learners that you have in a batch. I want to check for 1 learner. I want to see for 10 learners. I want to see for 1,000 learners. What will happen is the calculator will then show you what your current costs are for the batch and what your current profit is for the batch. And then P4P clients, if you are using P4P, you will see a result. So you'll see an income. So your income will remain the same, but your reduced costs and your new profits, and that will all be shown on this graph here. So you'll actually get a graphical representation of what you're currently doing in the red, what P4P's costs and savings are in the blue. And then at the end, and I'll show you an example now. I'll just share my screen and show you the example. And then what we have at the bottom here is the story around the pricing, why we came up with the number. So you can actually just read the story behind it. Wherever you see these little P4P logos, there is a further discussion behind, just a scroll over discussion behind it. So if I go and open the cost calculator, are you seeing the Excel spreadsheet? Are you seeing the screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I put a program in here, like for example, I'll put in generic management 4. Okay, excuse my spelling. And I'll go, okay, let's say we're charging 20,000 Rand for the course. P4P shows you that it's actually costing you 15,500 Rand per learner, and I want to see it for 10 learners. So what you see now is your total income will be 200,000, right? And then your costs will have dropped. So instead of paying 155,000 Rand, your costs would have dropped to 137,000, which is 11% savings. And on your revenue line, on your profit line, we measure profit to profit, it would have increased by 40% if you use P4P. So the profit you were making, which would have been this 44,700, you're now making a 62,700 Rand profit. So it's actually a 40% increase in profit. And that's what this calculator is about. So we'll email it to you. You can all play. And then, of course, if you scroll down, we show that it's a 12%, which is linked to this over here, savings per learner. And there's your 40% for your profit line. And then you can just read in more detail why we came up with it. And this is the calculator that we're experiencing that's kind of working. When Susanna says 400%, I'm like, how the hell did you get to that? Oh my God, that's freaking amazing. So this is that's where we're heading to. I know that the international markets have a more tech maturity. Susanna, and listening to Susanna and Rob speak, it's quite humbling. It's quite exciting actually to find out what's going on in the first world, and then kind of trying to find the bridge between the third world and the first world, so that we don't leave people behind, but we also don't live outside of our of our maturity in technology. We're seeing a lot of, we're seeing more African countries, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, Namibia, asking us about what we're doing as well. And this calculator is where it's starting to get very exciting. So this is version 1. We are more welcome to dive into the deep side behind it. It comes from the research. And very important is, this is what you're doing after you are a client. So these costs here, or this cost here, is after you've paid P4P. This is what you link. So we are a subscription-based per active user per month. This is what you're doing after that's paid out. So you don't have to pay us over and above. We're not eating into your costs. This is what's showing you the result there. So this is the calculated duty, kind of how it works. People can just play around, obviously put 5 learners in, things change, you put 1,000 learners in, 10,000, things change again. So you start playing around with the numbers, and you can start seeing the value of what an e-portfolio, what P4P is bringing.
It's a really great tool, because for people that are either in a training provider space or in a training role in an employer, to indicate your impact as a learning professional or as a business person on the on the P&L of the business through strategic tools like this is very valuable. So well done to you and team. I think it's amazing. I was fortunate to be one of your early adopters who benefited from it. So yay. But let's open to the floor and take some questions.